So, I didn't tell you after my last little talk if meditation will get you off the wheel of karma, like the doctrine says. Will you be able to go to a Buddhist Pure Land or a Hindu planet where advanced souls go? There's others. Maybe you would like to go to the causal plane, or go and meet an ascended master, or meet Jesus, or Buddha, or Metatron, the angel. No, meditation cannot tell you any of these things. So why do you have the doctrines that go with meditation? Well, there's an awful lot of courses available and books available on mindfulness meditation. Is that the best meditation? I can't continually tell you, but my other people have got many other questions they want me to talk about, and I'm not going to answer their questions. I'm going to stick with my agenda. My agenda is to simply tell you, you want to stay here, now, present, and then do it again the next moment and the next moment. Stay here, stay here. If you go and you start thinking about the past, you're not here. So what's that got to do with this wheel of karma, to get on or off of it, or become enlightened? It's all simply the idea that if you can change your consciousness, you will change your reality. How do you change your consciousness? Well, you go from being a person who thinks an awful lot about the past and thinks a lot about the future. If you think about the past, then you have the opportunity for guilt, because I should have done this instead of that. And if you think a lot about the future, there's an awful lot of anxiety. What if I don't do it right? And what else do we have about the future? Well, people set goals. And, the anxiety is, well, I set this goal that I was going to do something. I had my New Year's resolution, and I'm worried I'm not going to meet my goal. Or I've got a goal that my boss gave me. I've got a quota of so many sales I've got to make this past year, this next year. It's always, backwards and forwards. And our society wants you to do that because it's a very low vibration. And our institutions, businesses, let's say, because most people are in business, are very low vibration compared to what I'm telling you. I got a couple of other questioners. They want to remind you that raising your vibration when everyone else isn't raising their vibration, what does that do for you? It makes you, someone says, out of touch with them. Yes, makes you out of touch with them. And because they want to stay in the same old shit heap. And the reason you are changing your consciousness is because you want a better reality, not only for you, but for others who you see having a very hard time in life. And the people who don't want to raise their consciousness are either the ones drunk in the gutter, or the ones that are really troublesome are the people who want to remain in ignorance. A lot of people. Ignorance is bliss. What other kinds of people are there? The people that actively want to shut you down. In the olden days, if you talked about a lot of the things that people talk about when they're talking about higher consciousness, you would be burned at the stake as a witch. So, some people might have had past lives where they were one of these witches and they were given a hard time. Someone else calls it being tormented. I would say being burned at a stake is more than tormented. Is it true that people have past life memories that are unconscious that are still afflicting them? I can't really tell you. Is it relevant? I don't know. It's stories people tell. What's relevant today is more important. Today, if you work on yourself, you deal with your shadow traits, in other words, things that you don't want to acknowledge are part of you or part of your personality. If you meditate, some people say if you eat healthier, some people say avoid toxic people and toxic situations, you can raise your vibration. I have King Clancy who wants to talk. King Clancy is a typical person that you will run into if you're working on yourself. King Clancy has verbal diarrhea. In other words, King Clancy asks you a question. What's up with you? And you begin to express yourself. And before you're even through the second sentence, King Clancy has closed his ears. King Clancy has closed his ears and he's opened his big gums and they're flapping in the wind. In other words, King Clancy doesn't have any desire at all to listen to your story. And he doesn't really have a story of his own, but he loves the sound of his own voice more than anything. So he's a domineering person. And this is the kind of people that we often run, the very low vibration people, toxic people. And they're not interested in changing their consciousness. Most likely, they're simply interested in getting their own way all the time. Doesn't matter if the way is good or bad. It just means I don't want you to be the leader. I want to be the leader all the time. I want to be talking all the time. And I want to be controlling. Controlling behavior is a huge item among humans. Controlling behavior. Now, where was I? This is what happens when you get controlling behavior from people like King Clancy. They can really throw you off your story. Do you need your story? Well, I'm trying to make a cohesive video, and I have King Clancy talking to me during my video. 100 times I've told Clancy, Clancy, when I'm talking and making a video, I don't want you to talk. I don't want you to ask questions. Wait for the video to be over and then ask me the questions and I'll do more videos to answer your questions. But he won't. He wants me to change my words in the middle of me talking on the video. I hear him going. I'm going to just speak and then Clancy starts up. So do you have a Clancy in your life? I bet you do. I bet you do. It's just someone who, you know, you should get rid of this person. You should just cut them out of your life. They're not doing you any good. They're not part of the gang. They are simply a pain in the ass. So if you're working on yourself and you've got pain in the ass people around you, ditch them. Ditch them very fast and don't go back to them. Don't have second thoughts like, oh, maybe I was mean to cut off Clancy. No. If they're a toxic person like Clancy, cut them off and never go talk to them again. There's billions of people on the planet, and surely there's someone better than a verbal diarrhea person who won't let you even speak. But this is very common among humans because humans really don't work on raising their consciousness. They don't work on learning anything new. They're pretty much dumb bunnies. Sorry to say, but that's the way it is. So anyway, I was telling you about things like businesses. They're low vibrational things because they're all about controlling you, the employee. So how are you going to work around this? The more you meditate, the more you will find you have the resources to deal with these situations. And it may well be you find yourself leaving these situations, like walking out the door and never coming back. Or you may find, amazingly, that the right words come. You know, there's always a story that people tell. I was having an argument with so-and-so when I should have said this. If I could only have thought of this then, what I'm thinking now, it would have been a better response. But if you meditate a great deal of time and you work on all of your inner child issues, your shadow traits, you'll find amazingly that if these situations come up, you're usually pretty satisfied with the way that you dealt with it. It's like the right words come, the right wisdom comes. And it's mostly because you are working on letting go of your ego. And ego is pretty much what runs humans all over the planet, and it's incredibly stupid. It's incredibly monkey-like, very controlling, causes great deals of stress and anxiety. In other words, you don't want to have one of these egoic people in your life. You want to remove the ego from you, because that's the main ego you deal with, and then all the other people that don't want to change, screw them. It's not your job to change them.